It's an inauguration unlike any in history. I'm Michael George in Washington with the unprecedented security and the bystanders here to witness this historic moment.
And local students gathered to witness the historic day.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
At a time when so many of the inaugural traditions we've come to expect have been absent, one thing stayed the same. The new president of the United States took the oath of office just before noon on this January 20th. As Natalie Brand reports from Capitol Hill, President Joseph Biden called for unity moments after being sworn in.
I, Joseph Robinette Biden Jr., do solemnly swear.
After taking the oath of office, President Joseph R. Biden declared democracy has prevailed.
I will be a president for all Americans. All Americans.
Former Presidents Barack Obama, George W. Bush, and Bill Clinton were on hand for the transfer of power, as well as outgoing Vice President Mike Pence.
So help me God.
So help me God. Pence's successor, Kamala Harris, made history, becoming not only the first woman, but the first black person and first person of South Asian descent to become vice president. Speaking at the Capitol just 2 weeks after rioters stormed the building, the 46th president said unity is the only path forward.
My whole soul is in this, bringing America together, uniting our people, uniting our nation. And I ask every American to join me in this cause.
While today was steeped in tradition, only a small, socially distanced group attended the ceremony because of the coronavirus pandemic and increased security concerns.
The National Mall, usually crowded with supporters, was instead filled with flags. On stage, an array of star power.
Amazing grace.
Notably absent, former President Donald Trump, who declined to greet his successor as he hinted at a political return.
We will be back in some form. I wish the new administration great luck and great success.
Following a gift exchange with congressional leaders, President Biden and Vice President Harris attended a wreath laying at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier at Arlington National Cemetery. The President and First Lady then kicked off the mostly virtual inaugural parade with a walk along Pennsylvania Avenue. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Washington.
A big theme in President Biden's inaugural address was one of bringing the country together in unity. It's one thing the students at Pittsburgh State University would like to see happen. The Student Diversity Office at the university had the inauguration on TV all day so students could come in and watch between classes.
It's just exciting to see a change. Hopefully it brings unity. That seemed like that was the main message I got. And it seems like we're headed in a good direction. Hopefully we can just continue to improve. But yes, this inauguration was very exciting.
Tonight at 6, we're going to have more from students at Pitt State and from one of our local representatives. And now today's KOAM News Now Insta Poll. Today's question is, how do you feel about our nation's prospects for the next 4 years? Your options are optimistic, pessimistic, or uncertain. You can vote at KOAMNewsNow.com/vote or through the KOAM News Now mobile app. Results are updated live, and we're going to check in on them a little bit later in this newscast. A Missouri woman turned herself in to face charges over her role in the riots at the U.S. Capitol. Emily Hernandez attended a virtual court hearing and turned herself into the FBI office in St. Louis. The 21-year-old was seen on video inside the Capitol during the riots on January 6th, hoping to destroy a sign with House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's name on it. Hernandez was released after no bond was set. The judge says she must remain in Missouri until her next court date in Washington, D.C. Checking in now with Doug Hetty for our first look at the weather. Hi, Doug.
Hey, Dow. It definitely turned out to be a very windy day, but temperatures not too bad. Most of us made it up right around 50 degrees after a cold start at 24 during the morning hours. But we have had a lot of clouds all day long, even a few random showers in our far southern counties. A lot of this is not reaching the ground, but once you get into northwestern Arkansas, you are seeing a little bit of rain across the region. This will continue to scoot to our south, and then we look pretty good for the rest of the overnight hours tonight. It does stay fairly windy. We got these strong southerly winds. Temperatures are sitting mainly into the mid-40s, and it will stay breezy throughout the overnight hours tonight. You can see these south winds kind of picking up just a little bit ahead of a cold front that will pass through as we work into the daytime hours tomorrow. We do have a couple storm systems that are going to affect us. We're going to look at those here in just a bit.
All right, we'll see you soon. Thanks, Doug. As states move into the next steps of their COVID vaccine plans, a lot of people have questions about how to get the vaccine and where to go. In Missouri, the state has set up a website that provides a map of vaccine providers in your area. When it comes to making an appointment, well, it depends on the provider. However, most have online registration available. But officials say it's not as simple as it seems because there's no vaccine available right now.
It's a waiting game, but with the anticipation that more vaccine will become available as the supply chains increase.
Tonight at 6, we're going to have more on what you need to know about vaccine appointments, locations, and plans for some local providers. A little bit later, a national craving.
If you've been eating a lot of cookies during the pandemic, you aren't alone. I'm Elise Preston with a look at the surge in demand for this sweet treat.
But first, teens helping each other through anxiety and depression. That's next in Health Watch. As the U.S. now pushes past 400,000 deaths from COVID-19, a new California variant of the virus might be what's driving the surge in that state. Scientists say it first showed up in July, but stayed mostly dormant until November. Pfizer says its vaccine is effective against the now widespread British variant. President Biden rejoined the World Health Organization today and plans to begin work to significantly ramp up vaccine distribution. Many cities and communities around the country are warning they are days away from running out. A new study finds people who take the drug ivermectin immediately following a mild coronavirus diagnosis have a smaller viral load and shorter duration of symptoms. Spanish researchers say the FDA-approved drug used to treat head lice and tropical diseases could help reduce viral transmission of COVID-19. 1 in 5 teens suffers from a mental health disorder, such as depression or anxiety. That's according to a new survey that also shows parents back peer support in schools. Chris Martinez has more.
High school junior Annalise Ponce is remote learning, like many students during the pandemic.
School has been a roller coaster, especially trying to understand through a screen and not actually being there physically.
Annalise knows the teen years can already be a challenge, so she is trying to help fellow students, serving as a peer leader.
Just giving out advice from your heart. If there's any problem or situation that they're in, they could trust you and they could come to you.
Her school takes part in a program with the Center for Supportive Schools. It helps students transition from middle to high school and gives mentors proper training. Lorianne Clementson manages the program at Annalise's school.
Learning how to engage in these conversations. And then throughout the school year, they meet with their 9th graders about once a week, just teaching them different skills, right? Providing those kinds of resources.
A new poll from C.S. Mott Children's Hospital shows 1 in 3 parents strongly support schools having mental health programs like peer support leaders.
Parents recognize that they can't do this themselves. And so they look to not just the medical community, but schools as a key partner.
Annalise is now mentoring virtually.
If you're feeling sad, upset for some reason, we could talk it out because I've probably felt that way.
She says she gets as much out of the program as the students she mentors. Chris Martinez, CBS News.
Poll also found 64% of parents would allow their teen to be trained as a peer support leader. A study of over 200,000 young people with mood disorders finds those who use marijuana are at a higher risk of suicide and self-harm. Researchers from Ohio State University say cannabis use can worsen mood disorder symptoms and make treatment more difficult. Doug Heddy returns next with a complete forecast, and a little bit later, our pet vet on call.
Hi, I'm Dr. Eva Jude from Parsons Pet Hospital. Coming up, we're going to talk about Frenchies and their sensitive stomachs.
Well, it definitely turned out to be a kind of a cloudy, windy day for us today, but at least temperature is pretty good as we went right around 50 for an afternoon high, which we'll definitely take. But we do have some changes. down the road over the next couple days, which we're going to have to dig into. First off, I think it's going to be decently calm for the next day or two. We do have rain chances moving in Sunday. We have rain and snow chances on Monday, and then snow chances again next Wednesday. Of course, you can get my long-range forecast on my month-long blog. That is KOAMNewsNow.com. Let's go ahead, zoom in. Currently outside, 44 south winds, kind of breezy at about 20 miles per hour, and then gusts higher than that. Humidity is sitting at about 60%, 45 in Oronogo, 43 in Pittsburgh, 42 in Miami. Diamond is sitting at about 42, with these strong southerly winds kind of helping our temperatures warm up nicely for us today. But most of us across the board, mid to upper 40s, and of course will slowly drop back as we work into the evening hours. But it has been windy. We've had these south winds all day long at about 15 to 25, and gust at times 30 upwards to 35. It's going to stay windy tonight, but the winds will start to die down just a little bit as our temperatures kind of slowly drop back through the 40s. Eventually, we'll drop into the upper 30s later on tonight. A lot of clouds across the region. We have a fast-moving wave, which is mainly skirting just to the south of the region. So most of us have been dry. Our far southern counties have had a few random sprinkles and then some showers once you get into northwestern parts of Arkansas. But this whole system is going to pass on by and really not affect us much. Once it does pass by, we'll break out and see partly sunny skies once again for us tomorrow. Out to the west, here are our developing storm systems out across the Pacific Northwest, and then you can see a wave spinning just to the south of Los Angeles. That first wave is going to kick out as we head into the weekend, and that's going to change our weather up. But at least the next couple days, we look pretty good. For us tonight, we'll drop back into the upper 30s. We are going to continue to have a lot of clouds. Let's go into the daytime hours tomorrow. On Thursday, still those kind of southwesterly winds in the morning, and then you can see they switch around to the northwest during the afternoon as a cold front passes through. But still ahead of it, I think our temperatures are going to be pretty good. 38 to start, 51 by noon, high temp right around 55. Tomorrow night, we have the northerly winds, so we cool back down just a bit into lower 30s. And then as we head into Friday, not a bad day, partly sunny skies, high temps into the upper 40s. On Saturday, clouds will start to increase. We'll start to get some showers Saturday night into Sunday morning with a cold front that is going to roll through. On the back side of this system, we get another wave that rolls in on Monday. This should be a rain over to snow event, or at least that's the way it's looking right now. So that's something we want to watch closely. And then another system will roll in on Wednesday that will give us chances for snow. And in the pattern, the last two cycles, we have seen some wintry weather out of these systems. So I expect to see the same as we head into next week. 55 tomorrow, 48 Friday, 50 on Saturday, rain chances Sunday, and then rain and snow chances moving in and cooler by Monday.
A little bit of snow possibility in the forecast, but the temperature is still relatively mild, I guess.
Yeah, the next few days look pretty good.
Thanks, Doug. Hey, snake catchers in southern India jumped into action to rescue a pair of massive pythons that were caught in an excavator. They worked for nearly 7 hours to remove the 7-foot-long snake from the machine. During the ordeal, they rescued a second snake that became caught inside the engine. Rescuers say that rescues like this are common in India, as the nation is home to a large python population, large in numbers and size, and they can keep them. Just ahead, the craving for cookies. First, we take a moment to recognize a local World War II veteran. Mound Valley, Kansas native James Gertis served in the U.S. Navy from 1943 to 46. Aviation electronic technician mate 3rd class James Gertis, a 4-state hero. Another Takata airbag recall in today's Consumer Watch. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration is forcing Ford and Mazda to recall about 3 million vehicles because of potentially dangerous airbag inflators. They now have 30 days to give the agency a schedule to notify owners and begin the recalls. At least 18 people in the U.S. have been killed by faulty Takata airbags, which send shrapnel into the cabin or simply don't inflate at all. As people turn to food to help cope during the pandemic, cookies are providing some comfort. Reporter Elise Preston explains.
I'm going to start.
Grace Seeger's Kentucky Kitchen isn't just for feeding her family. It's blended into a business for custom-made cookies, including her popular vanilla sugar cookies.
I use real vanilla extract. That's kind of the secret.
The recipe is generating revenue. Since the start of the pandemic, she's been selling about 20 dozen cookies a week. Grace used to fill large orders for baby showers and weddings, but now people in search of a treat are placing smaller orders, a product shift that's more time intensive.
Everyone wants a personalized dozen for their special someone because they can't have a party or because they can't go anywhere.
Cookie makers big and small are seeing a boost in business. The group Top Data says demand for cookies is up 25% during the pandemic. In fact, 1 in 5 Americans admit eating more than 3 cookies a day.
It's just me making everything, so it's definitely busy in my kitchen.
When shutdowns began, Utah cookie maker Janica Mundy worried about her business, but orders for her do-it-yourself cookie decorating kits actually doubled.
Why do you think cookies have become so popular?
Desserts, sugar, anything that tastes good is something that people want to bring to the kitchen and want to bring their family towards during this pandemic because it's a comfort.
A comfort that's made sales sweet for cookie makers. Elise Preston, CBS News, New York.
Who doesn't love cookies? Now, the Mega Millions lottery is worth, at this point, nearly $1 billion. There was no jackpot winner of last night's drawing. That means the jackpot grows to $970 million. Next drawing, Friday night. Final check of the forecast next. CBS Evening News is next with more on this historic day. Then on KOAM News at 6, reporter Zach Dodge talks with area college students to get their reactions to the inauguration of our new president and vice president. And reporter Chris Warner looks at questions some 4-staters have as they await their opportunity to get COVID vaccines. Stay with us. CBS Evening News, KOAM News at 6. Let's check back with our KOAM News Now Instapoll. Again, a question is, how do you feel about our nation's prospects for the next 4 years? 38% at this point say optimistic, 59% say pessimistic. Only a few say they're uncertain how they feel. You can vote at KOAMnewsnow.com/vote or through the KOAM News Now mobile app. All right, now our pet vet on call. Today's question comes from Kevin. He writes, at times, our Frenchie mix eats and drinks and then throws up shortly after. We've looked at the bowls with the puzzles in the bottom. Will this or anything help?
It can help if the problem truly is just snarfing food. It slows them down so they can eat a little bit slower and hold it down. However, Frenchies are one of the typical breeds that have sensitive stomachs and intestines. They have issues with vomiting, loose stools, lots of gas, and there are a lot of reasons for that. Sometimes it's something as simple as a diet. There are sensitive stomach diets, but it could also be parasites. It could be an adverse reaction to an ingredient in the food. It could be intestinal issues. So I would have that checked out first and then try a different diet.
Hey, thanks for the question, Kevin. We invite questions from anyone. If you have one, you just send it to PetVet, KOAMTV.com. Dr. Eva Dudek from the Parsons Pet Hospital answers a different question every Wednesday right here at 5. You can also find answers to previous questions on our website. Now let's check out this week's picks of the litter from the Joplin Humane Society. We've chosen William. He's a male mixed breed puppy of some sort, and from the Southeast Kansas Humane Society, we've chosen this 11-month-old male shepherd mix named Benny. If you're looking for a pet, why not to at least check out your local Humane Society? They always have a lot of dogs and cats and sometimes others. Let's check back with Doug now for a final look at the weather with his dog.
Yeah, here's another Frenchie who snarfs down food, so I understand the problem. But weather-wise, we look okay for us tonight. 38, a lot of clouds, and then 55 tomorrow, partly sunny skies, but rain chances increase by the second half of the weekend.
Thanks, Doug. Thank you for joining us. CBS Evening News is next. We'll be right back here at 6. In the meantime, let's take care of ourselves and each other.